Greetings, this is Esther with your weekly celestial gossip for this week, beginning October 29th, going through November 4th. And I do want to preface this celestial gossip with the acknowledgement that there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now, and especially in our country. And it's very enticing and seductive to fall into fear and panic and upset. And really, it's so crucial that you keep your vibration high and that you look at things in a way that doesn't create more panic and fear for you, and you choose the vibration that you experience your world. And this is not to say that you don't have your feelings. Of course you have your feelings, but then you turn your feelings into action and self-care and care for others and developing your compassion rather than going to the fear extreme, because that just keeps the vibration low, and it's so important that we keep the vibration high right now. I listen to a lot of comedy as much as possible. That helps me laugh, so I listen to NPR and then I listen to the comedy station. So I know what's going on, but I also choose to have hope, to have faith in humans, and to have compassion for myself and for other people as well. So, that being said, we know it's in a very intense time on the planet, and looking at what's happening with the other planets in the solar system can help us to understand the patterns and the time that we're in. So we're looking at October 29th through November 4th, 2018. I have my little notes here so I, can tell you exactly what's happening. Pluto right now. So we're gonna first talk about the outer planets, the transpersonal planets, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. So those planets are way out in the solar system, and their effect on us is a little more about the collective and a long-term pattern, because from our perspective here on Earth, those planets are moving very slowly, maybe only a degree a week, or not even a degree, just a few minutes. So their effect is kind of longer, bigger, and slower. So Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, these are the outer transpersonal planets. Now, if they are affecting a planet or a point in your personal chart, those are going to be big times of transformation for you. And you know how that is. You're cruising along in your life, everything's like cool, kind of. You have things basically under control, and then boom, something happens. And you have to call on all your tools and the ways and your coping mechanisms to manage events occurring. And that's life. Things are going to be occurring. A smooth ride is very unusual in this earthly incarnation. So it's not that events and circumstances and people that you call into your life are not going to create some opportunities for change. They are going to create opportunities for change. But the important thing is developing your tools to manage those changes. Tools like meditation, being in your body, doing physical things, working with crystals, laughing, working on how can you up your vibration, how can you keep yourself positive. So let's talk about Pluto. Pluto's at 18 degrees Capricorn right now, moving into 19 degrees Capricorn this week. And as I said, Pluto being the farthest out planet in our solar system, it moves very, very slowly. So if you have points or planets in your chart that are going to be influenced by Pluto at 18 or 19 degrees, you're going to be working on some deeper transformation right now. Pluto is kind of the roto-rooter of the zodiac. It's going to bring up a lot of stuff from the bowels of the experience to be released. And of course, we're seeing that right now in our collective reality, that the dark underbelly is being exposed. And it's horrible, it's detestable, and yet it's part of the human nature. And so it's coming to the surface to be transformed. That's the Pluto energy, is the ability to transform. So our systems are in a process of being transformed right now, and over the course of the time that Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, which is about a 17-year period, and we're about 2/3 of the way through right now. So we have another 7-8 years of reforming, reworking a system that hasn't been working. Clearly it hasn't been working. Clearly there are new ways to bring in positive change. And this is kind of what's happening. And we're in that time period right now. And I do want to remind you that astrologically, this time period is very similar to the time of the American and the French Revolution. And so we are in a time of revolution now as well, a revolution of divine masculine, divine feminine, creating a balance there, having women and the divine feminine find their voice and their equality base. This is a process. This is a transformational process. We're in it, and we're also in a transformational process, revolution of consciousness. So these are chaotic times, and as a soul, you chose to incarnate in this time, and you get to participate at any level that you can or that you want to. Neptune right now moving retrograde backwards at 13 degrees Pisces, and Neptune is going to be moving retrograde until the 25th of November. So when Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, because Pisces is the sign that Neptune rules, so it's like that's its happy place, that's where it's most comfortable in expressing its Neptunian energies. And this is the call for more meditation and the call for more visioning and daydreaming, and really spending your time when you're not doing other things, but when your thought patterns start getting triggered, to see how you can shift to what your vision is, what you hold as the highest potential, not being focused on what the reality might be. So you're dreaming of a peaceful world, even though you might not be seeing that in the news. You want to hold that vibration inside of you, because what you think is what you will create. And Neptune in Pisces says, be connected to spirit, be connected to source, be in the creative visualization of all potential. Be in the unity consciousness. We are one. What happens to that person over there happens to you. If this person is feeling pain, I am feeling pain too. And then when I shift my vibration and raise it up, I help other people raise their vibration. We're all connected. We know that we're all connected, and we need to remember that. And Neptune in Pisces helps us remember our connection, our unity consciousness. Uranus is retrograde at 0 degrees Taurus. It entered Taurus back in the spring, and it moved forward for a few degrees, and then it's moved back, and then it's going to re-enter the sign before Taurus, which is Aries, on November 7th, and it's going to be back in those late degrees of Aries until March 6th. And then it's going to re-enter Taurus. So we had a little bit of a feeling of what that feels like. Uranus is a planet of revolution and breakthrough and innovation and liberation through chaos. Clearly, that's what we're living in right now. You're going to see lots of changes over the next 7 years around how we relate to the physical. That's Taurus. How we relate to money. We're going to see we're already seeing changes in money with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and the whole shift from the universal kind of banking system that we have right now. How that's going to play out? Well, you know, that depends on how each person steps up and takes action. So that's an unfolding story. And again, remember, these are the outer planets, the transpersonal planets. They're about a process, they're about things that take time. So again, with astrology, as with everything, not for you to be afraid, but to get information and step forward in the way that feels right and correct for you. Saturn is at 4 degrees Capricorn, moving to 5 degrees Capricorn this week. Now, Saturn, it begins the personal planets. The personal planets are the ones that we can see with our naked eye, or a very low intensity telescope. You can still see Saturn, Jupiter, you can see with the naked eye, Mars, Venus clearly, and Mercury, if it's not, you know, in the sun's glare. Occasionally we can see Mercury, but it's very close to the Earth. So the personal planets are more kind of, you can engage with their energy and you can actually participate in using their energy to make some changes and movement in your own life. So Saturn in the early degrees of Capricorn begins about a 2.5 year journey of Saturn through Capricorn. Now, Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. Again, when a planet's in the sign that it rules, it's very happy there. Saturn in Capricorn is like, hey, you got to step up to the plate. What are you responsible for? Where are your commitments? What are you willing to show up for? What is really important to you? And what challenges are you willing to take on to support your beliefs and support your own journey and the journey of the people around you? So it's just beginning. We're just beginning to feel that energy. But because Pluto has already been in Capricorn for a chunk of time, we already know what that Capricorn energy feels like. And it's very much about authority. It's about the divine masculine. And we're under a big, an opportunity here to make a big shift around what that is. And your part is where Saturn falls in Capricorn in your chart, and what gets triggered for you in terms of how do you want to step up and be the authority in your own life. I know it's a big job. It's not easy. These are not easy times. If you incarnated at this time in this particular time frame, you're up for the challenge because you're here. So you want to get support for the challenge. We can't do it ourselves. We have to do it together. Jupiter is completing his journey through Scorpio. So this week, he's 27 to 29 degrees Scorpio. In November, Jupiter is going to move into Sagittarius, which is the sign that it rules. So we're looking at Neptune's in the sign that it rules, Saturn's in the sign that it rules, and Jupiter is getting ready to move into the sign that it rules. And so there's a lot of structure and form and a potential for how these planets really show in their highest potential. So Jupiter is finishing its run through Scorpio, and this has been the year of very deep emotional excavation and things being exposed about the dark underbelly and, you know, all kinds of sexual things and guns and violence. And these are all scorpionic kind of low vibration energies, but also Jupiter helps us to see, where's our passion? What are we really committed to? What are we interested in? Where can we actually express our deep passion and deep sensitivity and concern? So as we're moving through these end degrees of Scorpio, as Jupiter is moving through these end degrees of Scorpio, then we're able to see, as it moves into Sagittarius, how to kind of activate that fiery energy of Sagittarius and take some action on what's been exposed. So I think it's going to be an amazing year into 2019 for sure. Mars is moving from 19 to 23 degrees Aquarius this week. Mars in Aquarius is challenging. It's electrical. You can feel like, you know, super, whoa, I can't really take it. You want to ground yourself. Do things that are grounding. I'm going to go out and shovel some rake, not shovel, that's snow. I'm going to be raking some leaves today, connecting with the earth. I'm going to be cooking, with harvest vegetables. I'm connecting to the earth. When you connect to the earth, you feel grounded. And there will be some videos that you can watch on creating sacred space and grounding for yourself. And then you could start practicing these and see that, oh yeah, this really works. This really helps me to feel more connected. I don't feel so like buzzed out in the brain. Our minds can lead us down some very circuitous paths. You got to rein in that mind and connect to the earth. That is the walk outside barefoot if you can, sky gaze, be on the earth, be connected to your whole scene, and it helps you get out of the craziness of the mind. And we all feel a little crazy now. I mean, it's not just you, it's like a very intense time. So, know that and manage it. Venus is still retrograde. It's at 1 degree Scorpio, and it's actually moving back into the last degrees of Libra, 28 degrees. It's going to hit 28 degrees Libra this week, and then it moves into Libra on November 1st. So it's going to move back for a few weeks, and so. We get to, like, again, the Scorpio energy of digging up some of our deeper stuff. And then as Venus moves into Libra, we're like, well, how do we take what we've learned and create some more balance in our lives? Relationships are going to be front and center. How do I relate to the people in my life, people that I'm intimate with or people that I'm one-on-one with? Like, how am I relating to create peace and harmony first inside myself, and then reflect it into my relationship with others? That's Venus in Libra. And Mercury is at 27 degrees Scorpio, and on Halloween, October 31st, it enters Sagittarius, and then Mercury will move to 5 degrees Sagittarius by the end of the week, November 4th. Mercury in Sagittarius, I always call it like open mouth, change foot. You're probably going to say things that are like, wow, I can't believe I just said that. And it might be the truth. It usually is the truth. So with Mercury in Sagittarius, you kind of want to watch for your, impact on other people by expressing your truth. It has kind of an outrageous, expanded kind of energy. It's funny. It also has the ability to kind of look at the bigger picture, which we need right now. We need big picture perspective, which is also going to occur when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius for the year. The moon moves this week from Cancer into Leo on the 30th, and then into Virgo on the 2nd of November. And it looks to me that the moon is going to be in Leo on Halloween. So woohoo, that's really fun. Dress up, get out there, express yourself through your costumes, through showing up. And Halloween is always a time of, like, the veils are very thin. So you can call on the ancestors that have passed, work with their help, ask for their help and perspective, and also, scare away the evil demons, the things that frighten you, by dressing up and dancing and singing and being with other people, having fun, because we need to be having fun, especially in times when there's great sadness. We need to balance the sadness and the tragedies of the human condition with joy. And we know that many groups around the world, they dance and sing to move energy. And that's what we want to do. We want to move energy. Woo! I know it's a wild week. Call on me for support, have a reading, learn to work with crystals, learn to meditate, learn to do things to manage your own energy during these very difficult times. And remember that we are here to support each other. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this walk yourself. And You are love always. You will always return back to love. So every time you choose love, you don't choose fear. They don't exist in the same space of consciousness at the same time. You are love always, and you will always return back to love. Thanks for joining me this week for the Celestial Gossip. This is Esther with Starry Blessings Astrology.